next session, this is a keynote on unveiling secrets from inside the exam room, how to address and navigate any subject with ease and confidence. In this session, PA Ann Sommer, CEO of Daytime Diamonds Coaching, will take us inside the exam room and share invaluable insights on how to address and navigate any subject with ease and confidence. From creating a comforting environment to handling sensitive situations, our speaker will guide us through the art of maintaining trust, asking the right questions, and delivering accurate diagnosis. So let's give a warm welcome to Ann as she guides us through the secrets of patient care and communication. Please step on up, Ann.
Hi, I'm Ann Sommer. Hi, everybody. So we're having a little technical difficulty, and once you get to know me, you'll understand that I am technical difficulty. Technical difficulty. Who loves technology here? Yes and no. Well, it's nice to meet everybody. So, all right, we got that up here. I got a clicker. Hi. Okay, so I'm PA Ann Sommer, physician assistant Ann Sommer. I go by PA Ann Sommer because I'm a medical provider. Who here understands what a PA is? That I'm not a nurse, right? Right. I'm a medical provider. We have doctors, we have NDs and DOs, we have PAs and NPs. They're all medical providers. APP, advanced practice provider, PA, physician assistant, physician associate. Could we have one more name for me? Correct. Yes. Today I am going to talk about secrets from the exam room because I've been practicing medicine for 25 years and women's health for 14 of them. I say thank you for everybody for coming. And I just want to give you a little bit about me. Is that okay if I share a little bit about me for about 2 minutes? Okay. So this is my circle of life. If on the top and the outside is where I've been and lived, on the inside is the reason why. What I want you to know is I grew up in Wisconsin and grew up dairy farming. There's a clicker here, ooh, right there. Um, I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'm going to take a backwards spin to this. I went to Europe at 19. I lived with my sister to raise her daughter. So she called, she said, "Do you want to be my nanny?" And I said, "Yes." And then I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I moved to Spain at 19, raised a 2 month old. She was in the military. And that was a great experience because that's where I met a PA. I then came back and went to Wisconsin, where I knew I wanted to go to PA school. I told my mom when I was in Europe, "Mom, I want to be a PA. Can you send me some information?" So at that time, we had phones and we had the mail. She sent me a packet, and on it was a post-it note, and it said, "Looks hard. Consider something else." So then I went to Pennsylvania for PA school. I knew I wanted to do surgery, so I went to Connecticut for surgical residency. I then flew transcontinental to California, where I did general vascular, um, and New Mexico for orthopedics, got married, had a kid, came back to Wisconsin, where I've been doing medicine and opened my company, Daytime Diamonds Coaching. I call it Daytime Diamonds Coaching because everybody here has something inside themselves that they hide. Jewels get put in the jewelry box, then put their things in their safe, and we wait for tomorrow. We wait for tomorrow. So I help people live their tomorrow today, meaning I want to write a book tomorrow. I want to do something tomorrow, and I help people get over that. High achievers like myself and you guys. In the past year, I wrote a book. Woo woo! Good for you, Anne. Right? Woo! Yay! I know all of you have a book in you if you don't have one already. I was on the Lisa Nichols show. There's my book. You can buy it at pansummer.com. This cover is only exclusive to me. A medical provider. I do want to go backwards. I think I can go backwards. Okay, I want you to look at my surgical hat. It says at your cervix. Now look at my necklace. It's a uterus and ovaries. If you were walking into the operating room with me, would that make you feel better? Right? I understand it. I get it. After 25 years of being a woman in a man's world, being a PA in a doctor's world, I get it. And men, I understand you're a man in a woman's world, you're a doctor in a PA world. It's not easy. We don't talk to each other about how to talk to each other. We don't talk to each other about How do we respect each other as a man, as a woman, as a CEO, an entrepreneur, all of those things? How do I pull people into my exam room and ask them the most intimate of questions? OBGYN. Everybody walks in panicked. I walk in panicked. I don't like that side of the gown either. And I say, I don't like that side of the gown. That's what makes me good at my job. What does it do? It lands me on their platform. It makes me real to them. Yeah, I'm their medical provider, but I'm also a patient at times. And so that is part of my secret. This is where I grew up. So what I want to know is if I walked up here and you don't have to tell me, and I showed you all of those accolades. I wrote a book, I was on TV, blah, blah, blah. And you probably thought maybe, well, I bet it was easy for her. Maybe she was just handed everything. I grew up farming. There were 5 of us. And I want you to look at this picture. I have my microphone, so I kind of have to follow it this way. On the, whoops, how do I go backwards? There we are. So on your right side, there's a little girl in the middle who's not smiling, holding an apple. On the left side, one of these things doesn't fit with the other. One of these things doesn't belong. I'm the only blonde, only curly haired, and look at me. I'm ready to escape. I'm ready to crawl under there and run because I was shy. All 4 siblings, they weren't shy. They were outgoing. They were brunette. They were fine. I was scared of dogs, height, dark, lightning, air, and people. Right? Good. If you said my name as a child up through teenagers, I would turn so red. Oh my God, I would turn so red and my face would just like start to melt. And I'd be like, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Who here has ever had that happen to them? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard being shy. It's hard being withdrawn because inside, we, I wanted to raise my hand. I wanted to go and do all those things. And so at about 18, 19, I thought, I'm going to change. I'm going to figure out how to change. And I started putting myself out there. But what had happened during this is I learned how to watch people. I learned how to watch. How do they interact? What do they say to each other? What are their facial expressions? What is their body language? What is the proper thing to say and not say? Now, I would put this into practice, and let me tell you, a lot of times it would go horribly wrong, horribly wrong. I would do a facial expression that I thought was like really cute, and somebody'd be like, "You look mad." And I'd be like, "Oh, go back to the drawing board." It's practice. I have a very healthy right brain, very creative, have a healthy left brain, and very methodical. And somewhere in the middle is what I call my middle brain of magic. Constructive criticism, critical conversations. Who loves these? Come on, people. We hate them. We want to run and hide. Oh, unfortunately, I'm on the screen. Okay, the top one is talking. I'm going to give you 5 very simple steps of how to have any conversation, any subject with any person. Okay, and this is what I do in my with my clients now, because I work with high achieving individuals. Again, we did that thing, right? We did all the check boxes. We went to college, we got married, we had a house, we had a kid, we got another house, we got a car, we had another kid, we got a car, we got a dog and a cat. And then we wake up one day thinking, is this as good as it gets? I really want to do all this stuff, but I don't know how to get there. The first thing with communication is talking, moving into conversation, constructive, critical, and the seventh sense, what I call the seventh sense. Understand the little cat, the cat that wants to die. Now, remember, communication, we all know this, it's easier said than done. Go and talk to the boss, just tell him how great you are. Okay, yeah, sure. Go and tell that group of employees that they need to work together better because they're fighting and they're not communicating, and I need your profits to go up. Oh, and by the way, work is so stressful that when I go home and I talk to my partner, we're not getting along. Not only are we not getting along, but now we're not being intimate. We're we're having struggles financially. It's all inclusive. Now, talking is a learned behavior. If you don't learn how to talk up to a certain age, you don't learn how to talk. Kids that aren't taught languages and how to talk don't talk. Now, communicating is a practice behavior. Practice behavior. Now, there's a basic need and ability that we all have. Babies want you to look at them. We want our babies to look at us. But to relay a message clearly in both instruction and emotion is advanced. Now, talking, how many people talk to somebody today? You walked in, right? Said, "Hey, how are you?" "I'm good. How are you?" I call that, oh, whoa, this is a different slide, but talking is basic it's just a social interaction. That's it. We talked, you had a social interaction. A conversation is you are going to share something personal with each other. "Hey, my name is Ann. What's your name?" "I'm Ann." You might go in the elevator together and you're both going to the third floor, and between the second and third floor, it stops. Are you two going to talk now? Probably. You're probably now going to go into a constructive conversation. A constructive conversation is two or more people that have a problem. Now we have a problem. We're both here and we both need to figure out the problem. Why don't you pull out your cell phone and call? You pull out your cell phone and there's no service because you're in a metal box. And then you say to me, "Well, why don't you press that red button?" And I say, "There is no red button." And then I say, "Why don't you call the phone? There's got to be an emergency phone." And you look and there isn't any. We have a problem we're trying to solve. We are constructively trying to solve a problem. Now, constructive conversation, right? That's what constructive. What's critical conversation? This is where it gets real. This is where we all want to run away. Now, a critical conversation means we have two or more people, we have a problem, and we need a solution. Do we get to a solution right away usually? Not usually. If you're a medical provider, somebody comes in with a sinus infection, you give them an antibiotic, they go home, we fix the problem. Somebody comes in with multiple complaints, and we say, "Well, you know what? Maybe you have PCOS. I need you to lose weight, but I'm going to tell you why, because we don't tell people why. I need you to be on some hormones, but I'm going to tell you why. You have to lose weight, but I'm going to tell you why." And then I give her advice. And that person goes, or I give my clients advice, and they go and they tell their team what to do. And they come back and they say, "I took your advice, and this happened." Look at the picture. What if I'm like, "You know what? I want your family to get together. You're in the south of Spain, you're on beautiful beaches, you need some family time, you need to take a picnic. Go and hire a photographer, swing your babies, and make sure you're all smiling." And then this happens. This can happen in any situation. Am I wrong? No, unfortunately. Now, hopefully, nobody, this isn't anybody's family that's here. Right. Good. This is a critical conversation. Critical conversations are, you got to a step, and now what happens? People are mad. People come back and they're like, "Ann, I took your advice, and now not only are we not getting along, but I think we might actually get divorced. Oh, and my baby has a head concussion because of your stupid idea." Right? So true. Now, here's the secret. How do you react to that? How do you react to that? We get defensive, right? We get defensive, we get argumentative, we get insulted, and we're thinking, you're the one who dropped your baby. No, this is where it takes us to the seventh sense, and this is where I want to spend some of our time today. Now, the seven senses, sixth and seven senses technically are your vestibular, your proprioception. And that means that we're not dizzy. We understand we're standing, we're not falling. Reception means I know my hands here. I know my hands here, right? What I call the seventh senses are two things: your emotions and your facial expressions. And if you haven't worked on these, I'm going to challenge you to work on these. Because when a patient comes in to see me and she's having some female problems, she's having intimacy problems, and she doesn't know me, I'm her stranger. And I walk in and I sit down and I'm just like, "Hi, Ann, what brings you in today?" I wouldn't talk to me. But when I walk in and I say, "Hi, how are you? I'm PA Ann, call me Ann. Nice to see you." And I sit and I face her and I put my computer over here and I talk to her. or him or client on a Zoom. And then I say this: if you're under 21, I want you to know we're not doing an exam today. And they all go, oh, thank God. Because what are they afraid of? They're afraid of an uncomfortable examination. So tell people what we are not going to do. If you're a CEO or anything, just say, today we are not going to work on what's bad. Tell them the truth. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you is facial expressions. If I was in my 20s doing women's health and somebody told me something crazy, I think I would have looked at them like this, like, oh my God. In my 30s, I might have been like, oh, oh, what? In my 40s, it might have been like, okay, yeah. And now at this age, I can say, not surprised, been there, done that, don't know, but I'm going to find out. This is the next thing, is the ability to say, I do not know. We don't train our medical people or sometimes our higher ups to say, it's not a bad reflection on you to say, I don't know. It's not a bad reflection on you to say, you know what, I'm going to find out. It's not a bad reflection on you to say, oh, yeah, I was wrong. And then to not take that and put it in your facial expressions, not to bring your emotions, because we've all had this, right? When looks could kill. I mean, if you want to use your facial expression correctly, use it. I do tell people, if you come into me and I'm looking at you like this, it's serious. Because most of the time I'm smiling. But I'm not going to look at you like this. That says a whole different thing. Now, here, um, there's leaving emotions at the door, which I probably just went through. Who has heard that phrase, leave emotions at the door? Yeah. Do you use it? Leave emotions at the door. This is going to sound like a kindergarten lesson, but it takes a lot of courage to honestly leave your emotions at the door and to instruct your people to leave their emotions at the door. So when that couple came in and they were like, so I dropped the baby and I'm so mad at you, and they're emotional and I want to get defensive, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. That went bad, didn't it? That couldn't have been easy. How? How are you? How is the baby? Tell me about it. Because it's not my reflection. It's not my story. But if you open that up and you let them talk to you and you let them talk and you learn to listen, because a lot of times we don't listen. And when we listen, this is another secret, is I want you to watch people's body language. So when I say to somebody, so how are you today? Or what is your problem today? And they go, and if I'm looking down, I'm going to miss it. Because as soon as somebody pauses, I promise you, they want to say something, but they don't know that they can trust you. And as soon as they do, I'll say, you paused. I know there's something you want to tell me. And here's the next secret I have for you, especially in the exam room, especially in your CE, your offices. You're going to say, my office is like Vegas. It's kind of funny we're in Vegas, but I say this all the time. My office is like Vegas. What happens here stays here, and I need you to know not everything goes in your chart, because it doesn't have to. You are not obligated to put their deep, dark secrets in a chart that really is public. I wouldn't tell you things that I didn't want in my chart. But if you said to me, Ann, I can see that you're struggling. I can see there's something you want to tell me. Even with my clients, HIPAA, confidentiality. Make people feel safe. That's what you're there for. Make them feel safe. This is like Vegas. I mean, if I said that to you, you know what, my office is like Vegas. You can tell me anything because I can sense there's something here, or you gave me a hint in your body language or your facial expressions, and I know we need to go down that, but it's my job to make you feel safe. And I can say that. This is Vegas. And they say, okay. And remember, my computer's over here. So I'm not lying in their mind. Because remember, what I'm showing them is truth. So if I say, hey, I'm like, what happens here stays here, I'm like Vegas, and I'm typing as they're answering. You think they're going to keep talking? No, they shouldn't. I mean, if they do, then we might need to delve into other things. But these are the secrets of my practice, my clientele. I'm excellent at what I do. I have loved practicing medicine. I've loved studying people. And remember, I have watched myself self evolve from that shy little girl that wanted to run. That was like, oh, don't look at me, don't talk to me, to who I am now. And the other important part, I don't know, how much time do we have? Five. Oh, she's like, 5 minutes. Okay. Um, how many people are in medicine here? Do we have lots and lots and lots? Lots. Okay. And then everyone else is like around medicine or has been through college and that kind of stuff. This is what I want to talk to you about. These are my pet peeves. Because where are we going wrong? How are we failing our people? How are we failing ourselves? We know that high IQs might have struggles with common sense and social skills. We know this, but we don't teach them that. And we can't teach common sense, but we can teach common etiquette. So why aren't we? We know that high IQs might not socially know things, and it doesn't even have to be an IQ. It might be somebody who was raised without social skills or ethnic changes or differences. I can use some of that education. So why aren't we training each other on that? Here's my other thing. In medicine, in technology, in nutrition, in everything, most of the conversations that happened up here were very much separated. We separate and segregate medicine. We separate and segregate our specialties. It used to be a bullseye, and the target used to be our primary care. And then around there were specialists. But right now we have rings all over the place. We take people in and we say, "Oh, you got some throat pain, you're going to go to ENT. You got some heart pain or chest pain, you're going to go see your cardiologist. And you got a knee problem, you're going to see orthopedics." But nobody is bringing it all together. And when I say nobody, I mean obviously it's not 100%. But I see this all the time. And it drives me crazy. And so do you know how much primary care I did in OBGYN? A ton. Because where's the target? Why is the right hand specialist not talking to the left hand specialist? And I have a true story for this. My father, who died 1 year ago, he's in heaven right now watching us. And 3 weeks prior to his death, he went on hospice in my parents' home. And I was off of work and I had the privilege of going to all his appointments with him. And I started to realize he doesn't know what's going on because the conversations aren't being had. So this is my next secret. As a patient, as that person walking in to that office or that meeting that you do not want to do, that constructive, critical conversation, or where you're just mad, you're going to make a list of all your emotions and why. And you're going to make a list of what went wrong and why are you so mad. And when you walk into that doctor, you walk in to me as your mentor, you walk into that office and that person says, "Well, we need to talk." And you're going to say, "We do need to talk." And I'm going to tell you, "I'm upset." I'm going to tell you why I'm upset because I took the advice, I gave it to our team. They did it wrong. And now we lost all this money. And I think we should replace the team. Now, as the person who's leading them, I could be like, "What? Yeah, get rid of them." Or I'd be like, "Wow, yeah, that's really bad, huh? I can see where that upset you. What were your instructions you gave to the team?" Now, that other person might be like, "Whoa, it wasn't my fault." And then you're right. See, all of these fuels, all these emotion fuels, as the person who needs to manage themselves, it's your job to understand. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Have that conversation like you're going to talk to that person you don't want to talk to, even family. Those are the worst, aren't they? Don't talk to family. Those ones always give you the best advice or not. They're the hardest ones to talk to. But look in the mirror and understand, what is your smile? Is it a smile? Is it pleasant or is it, what is it? And when you get that face that could kill, could it kill? Could it really kill? Like, do you want people to talk to you with that face? This you've really done it this time face? Or can you learn to relax your face and ask the question, you're right. It was that. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way. That really, that sucks. That sucks. Okay, so let's just kind of backtrack here. Let's just talk about the facts. So remember, we're leaving our emotions at the door. And what that means is if things are getting way out of control and people are so emotional, you just have to say, you know what? We're fueled. I'm fueled. Take a deep breath. Everybody get a plastic bag out in your hand and dump all your emotions in there. Sounds like a kindergarten process, but I promise you it works. And we're going to take and we're going to tie the bag. We're going to go over here. We're going to hang those emotions on the door and then we're going to walk over here. We're going to have a conversation over here. Because when somebody starts to get really fueled again, all you got to say is, "Ah, remember, emotions are at the door. You can be mad, you can be happy, you can be sad, but you can't be mad. I'm so mad. You can't be like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Or, oh my God, I'm so sad. We need the emotions there. We need to manage them. We need to have the conversation here. And that just works with you. With you, you have to manage it first. Because if you can't manage it first and you can't create a safe zone for everybody around you, for the most part, then you're always going to struggle. There's always going to be struggle with that. Where's my girl? How are we doing? Kat, can I just read a poem? Okay. All right, you guys. So when I work with my clients, um, this is a poem that is from Jesse Rittenhouse, and I want you to listen to the words. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty score. For life is just an employer and gives you what you ask. But once you've set the wages, why you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hired, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have surely paid. This poem encourages us to move our boundaries, to be something we're not, to find people that can help us get there. Now, this is my last, and I'll be done. I promise I'm not going to look at her. It's a poem I wrote to you. Walk beside me, my friend, and let our journey never end. Together, we'll face life's twists and turns and cherish the lessons that we learn. We'll walk through sunshine and through rain, and through the joy and through the pain. We'll share our hopes and share our fears and wipe away each other's tears. So walk beside me, my friend, and let our journey never end. For a friend that walks side by side, confidently raises our pace and opens our stride. Thank you so very much, everybody. Again, I'm Ann Sommer. Please email me your information and we can connect that way or find me later. I would love to meet everybody that I haven't.
What a special session. Thank you so much, Anne, for sharing all of your insight on that. Guys, if I seem extra smiley today, it's because I'm working on my